Hi, welcome to Julius Bar. Today we're gonna mix ourselves some blue martini. So today's video is not actually part of the Martinis, the RM Martini series, because what we are gonna do today are really true martinis. Actually, the most accurate dry martini I ever proposed on this channel. The only different thing is they're gonna be blue. So I'm just gonna start mixing them and then I'm gonna explain you along the way. So a classic dry martini is a stir drink, so let's get some ice in this mixing glass. And what I'm gonna propose to you today is a standard recipe, which is 6:1 ratio of gin to dry vermouth. So we're gonna have 10 milliliters of dry vermouth, Dolan. That's a bit too much. Okay, let's do like that. And let's get rid of the rest. And then 60 milliliters of dry gin. In this case, we're gonna use the Empress 1908, which has become a really popular gin in the bartender world because it's a good dry gin, nothing special on the flavor side of things, but it's a blue color, a really blue color which tends a bit to the purple. So 60 milliliters of this. Let's give this a stir until it's nicely chilled. And when I do that, I'm going to tell you that the color of this gin is given by butterfly pea, which is a kind of blue pretty flower. And now I'm gonna put a picture of the butterfly pea right there and take a look at it. And if you're thinking you're looking at a Georgia O'Keeffe painting, well, you have good eyesight, because the scientific name of this flower is actually Clitoria ternatea. You guess right, the scientific name comes from the female reproductive system. Nice. But I guess in the meanwhile we achieved a good chillness. We could single strain. Just a second, I'm gonna give a bit of a chill to the cocktail glass because I forgot talking about clitoris. Now we could single strain this and maybe we could be fine, but I'm gonna double strain just in case we made up some ice speckles. And there you go, a dry martini made with Empress 1908. I'm gonna express later some lemon peel, but I'm gonna do it before tasting all of them. So let's put this one on the side and let's get down to mix our next blue martini. So I got some new ice, 10 milliliters of Dolan dry vermouth, and now we go for 60 milliliters of this Kibou Blue Hokkaido Shakotan gin, which I never tried. And so I'm going to try it right now. The color is slightly different than the one of the Empress. It's a bit more light blue compared to the more purplish color of the Empress. And the botanical used are more researched. I never tried this, so I'm going to try it right now. And what better way to try that in a martini? So we're gonna compare both flavor and color to the Empress and see if it could be an alternative to the Empress for a different flavor profile, or if it's not worth the money, because this one is at least double the money of this, if not triple the money. It's pretty expensive. I love the bottle design, which is gorgeous. this really simple squared and short but still rounded design. It's really a gorgeous bottle, but anyway, let's give it a stir. Again, the same flour is used to give the color. As of now, the color just looks a bit more pale, more of a lilac color than the Empress, but let's wait and see to stir it in our cocktail glass. It comes at 45% ABV compared to the 42.5 of the Empress. Let's double strain in our cocktail glass. And there you go, definitely more pale. I hope you can see it. This one, the Kibou, this one, the Empress. And now let's go for our third blue Martini. Again, I'm gonna express some lemon peel later on. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna use food coloring. I mean, what if I have a really nice gin I like, but I just want it to be blue? Can we do that without having to resort to one of the blue options? Well, let's give it a try. I'm gonna use tiny amounts of food coloring, some blue, and an even smaller amount of red. Then I'm gonna add our gin. I'm gonna use this Thompson Bros from the Dornoch Distillery, an organic Highland gin. It's an interesting gin. I kinda like it for martinis because it has a sweet malty smell, but it's dry to the taste. So let's give this one a try. 60 milliliters. Oh, we went really bright blue. I guess if I was mixing a larger batch, maybe we could have a better success tuning our color. Now I'm gonna add the 10 milliliters of Dolan. Let's not forget the ice. Let's give it a stir to our improvised blue martini. I'm gonna double strain in this flanged coupe because I don't have three of that pretty martini glasses, so this one has to go in a different shape. It's a bit too big for this cocktail, but well, that's what I have. And there you go. Let's express some lemon peel on all of them. And there you go, 3 blue martinis. Let's start from the Empress Martini. Cheers. Nice, dry, actually smoother than I thought. I thought it was gonna be more dry than this. It's a bit transparent, the gin, so much so that I can still appreciate the vermouth down below. Now for the Kibou Honoho Hokkaido Shakotan. So Hokkaido Shakotan is the distillery. Shakotan is actually the town in Hokkaido, which is a region of Japan. Honoho is the name they gave in general to their gin, while Kibou is the name of this specific gin. Actually, this is Kibou Blue. Kibou means wish. Is it wish? Let's try this one. Cheers. Really different flavor profile. These are some botanicals which are pretty unusual, including lots of, I think, leaves of some kind of matsu. Matsu is some kind of tree which is a oak. I think it's like some kind of oak. Plus some kind of specific citrus from Hokkaido. And this gin is actually, it turns out, pretty citrusy. But also he has the, one second, almost minty quality, or like hinoki flavor to it. It's really good, by the way. In fact, I'm gonna go for the first sip in a row. Hold on. Really interesting. Not minty, but more like foresty like. And citrusy. Those are the two main things. Juniper in the background. Juniper was not super present even in this Empress. Before going on to the Dornock distillery. Okay, this blue color is kind of gimmicky, I know. Of course, if you will have to mix like a full bottle, you will have a lot more space to change and adjust the color between blue and red and add other hue. So I think you could get a better color than what I got here. Even though there is really no point in getting the color, is it? Maybe if you want to impress your client, you could get like a bottle of Bombay Sapphire and then make it blue and say like, it's Bombay Sapphire because it's blue. Well, more than impress your client, you have to be like a bullshitter. But still you can have a story about the Clitoria ternatea and say like, it's colored with this super interesting flower that looks like a vagina, and not have to splurge out for a real blue gin, even though in this case a fairly expensive gin for this cocktail too. This is actually even more expensive here in Japan, and it's a Japanese product. But this is, let's say if this one costs 1, this one costs 2, and this one costs 3 parts. Talking in cocktail terms. Well, anyway, let's give this a sip. I like it. Really different again. Show like how a drink that looks kind of the same could be completely different. In this case, this is definitely more malty, and it's really peculiar, this gin. Not my top favorite, but it's pretty interesting. In fact, I did a dry martini more than once with this gin, because it has a peculiar flavor. And when I make a martini, a dry martini, I don't like an extremely dry gin, because the drink itself is already really dry, and what you taste, 90% of the taste is just the gin. So if even the gin is dry, it's not gonna be that interesting to me. It's better to have a bit of flavor, not too much, because then you're going to the fun martini category. I mean, I did before, like you can see my video of the yuzu martini with the panda gin, and that's a fun martini, lots of flavor, fruits and flour and stuff like that. But if you're a dry martini, you want something dry but not too dry, at least in my opinion. Then you can have a really dry martini, and I mean, if that's your taste, it's your taste. Okay, let's recap. Starting from the Empress. Nothing wrong with the Empress gin. Really competent gin. It doesn't get in your way. In fact, you can use it in many cocktails with no problem. It's just like having a good dry gin, but it's blue. A nice blue hue, as you can see. More like purple, really. And if you add more lemon, it turns even more purple. Then we have the Kibou. This really delicate hue. I would say like an interesting minty tree bark plus citrus. It's actually really nice. In fact, I kept being pulled to this glass compared to the other two. Really like this. Not the same. Empress and this Kibou. Both blue, but definitely not the same. I don't know if this is worth 3 times the money than this, but definitely not the same. And then we have this Thompson Brothers. Well, the color, don't mind about the color. Let's talk about the taste, which is really malty and almost sweet, but not quite. It's still dry. But probably, I don't know, I would suppose they used some malt to distill this. The Dornoch distillery is famous for mostly from bottling other whiskies, but I think they might be doing their own whiskey too right now, or maybe starting. So by starting, they are probably distilling some barley and some malt, and that's the primary characteristic of this gin, which actually calls a bit to the Geneva in a certain way, even though not quite. So what's the result? The result is that these 3 are 3 excellent martinis, all 3 of them. They are blue, but if you care about blue, all the better. If you don't care about blue, who cares? They're good anyway. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, maybe, and do whatever you want. Steal yourself a drink, and I will see you next time. Cheers. How does it feel? By the way, speaking about Blue Monday, sung by New Order, the band that was formed after the unfortunate suicide of Ian Curtis, frontman of Joy Division. By the way, I read the book by his wife, Touching from a Distance. It's actually really good. There was also a movie, I think, based on that, which I forgot what it's called. Black and white movie, pretty good. But now we went back to Joy Division, but we were talking about Blue Monday, and we are talking about Blue Monday because they're having Blue Martini. And the first time I encountered Blue Monday was because Billy Corgan talked about it in an interview, I think about the age of Adore, the album of the Smashing Pumpkins. So Billy Corgan, there used to be this guitar hero shredder that was a super fan of the 70s and the 60s and made this masterpiece, which is Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. What was it, 1993? 1995? Maybe it was 1994, 5, I don't know, I forgot. But anyway, it used to be my favorite album of the 90s, Melancholy. And it's just this masterpiece which drew in equal amounts from Genesis and the White Album of the Beatles. But anyway, after that he passed on to the 80s music and he made Adore, which was a much lesser album. I never listened to it anymore. But anyway, and then he was doing the press tour, and I think he talked about Blue Monday. And I was like, Blue Monday, it's gonna be interesting. And I went and checked it out, and it was a cool song. Really different from what I used to listen to, like metal, rock and roll. It was really different, but it was quite interesting. And I remember this time we went to a club in Cremona, and there might have been maybe 3 people on the dance floor, but the DJ was way cool. And I think I asked him to put Blue Monday, and he did. Maybe he didn't have the original mix, maybe he had a remix or something, but he did, and I remember dancing on the dance floor like nobody's watching, as we say. Because nobody was watching, because we were 3 people there. And I also remember asking him for Panic by the Smiths, and he played it with the Ham the DJ, and we were like, Ham the DJ, Ham. Well, we were, yeah, 2-3 people. in the dance floor we were like, I'm the DJ, 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 I'm the DJ.